Welcome back. Muslims' Voice for Peace and Reconciliation was created to promote world peace, human rights, compassionate justice, and religious reconciliation. Today we speak to Samuel Shropshire and Isa Alhaj Hussein and some of their work they've been doing. Isa, Brother Samuel, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Aisha.
Thank you.
So I want to begin with the actual project. Tell me a little bit about the Muslim Voice for Peace and Reconciliation. What is it?
Well, Asa and I founded Muslim Voice for Peace and Reconciliation. We call it MVPR.
Very cool.
We founded it in 2014. We work together very closely, and we're seeking to promote world peace and human rights. We travel around the world recruiting MVPR members, and this is the longest peace mission that we've made, going from across Europe down to South Africa, then Japan, and now we're here in Canada, and soon we'll be crossing over the US and going to Cuba.
Awesome. So how did you guys come up with the idea to start this project? So I know you said 2014. Were there some drivers? Like, was the political climate at the time? Like, what was it that brought you guys together and you were like, okay, we need to do something?
We felt that there was a gap. We didn't see that there was any big organization for peace as a Muslim organization. So we thought that it is a good idea to start something like this, since Samuel Shropshire has a lot of experience with human rights and peace movements.
So how did you guys, so to walk me through like sort of a story of when like the two of you got together and you're just like, okay, let's do this. Like, what was that, take us to that moment, or
Okay.
moments in plural, whatever it
The story
is.
that we got together. His father is a good friend of mine, Dr. Mohammed Alhaj Hussein. He's an environmentalist.
Okay.
And I was having dinner in his home with the family. He had 6 sons sitting at the table. He doesn't have any daughters, only 6 sons. And I was joking. I said, Dr. Mohammed, I have one child, a daughter, and I don't have any sons. I've always wanted a son. Give me one of yours. He said, okay, take Asa, take Jesus. So I have Asa working with me. I can't do anything without him. He's my strength and my encouragement.
And so when the idea came, did the two of you, like right then you knew, like Isa, did you have an interest in sort of peace initiatives? Like what was your interest in terms of working with Brother Samuel?
I wanted to spread peace around the world, but I didn't know exactly the way because I didn't have the experience. So this is when I needed Sam's help, and sometimes he needs mine too. So
Perfect.
we work together.
A beautiful relationship.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit, so what's the overarching goal with MVPR? Like what's the mission with this project?
Well, I worked with U.S. Congress, Canadian and British parliaments for 35 years off and on to promote human rights. After I became Muslim, declared myself Muslim in Saudi Arabia in June 2012, I began asking God, what am I supposed to do now? And I felt him saying, just continue what you've been doing. Only now do it in the name of Islam. And so that we came up with the name Muslim Voice for Peace and Reconciliation. Reconciliation means bringing people together.
Yeah, I think it's a really beautiful name, and you don't often hear about it within the context of Muslims. Not that we don't do it, but I think it's really, remarkable that you guys are doing this. I want to talk a little bit about some of the projects that you guys worked on. So I know, you went to the Auschwitz camp. Now you wouldn't normally, like that's not something that you hear Muslims go and visit. So tell me a little bit about sort of, why you decided that and what that experience was like.
Well, it's a part of our interfaith work. One, I wanted Asa to see it for himself. I'd been there 2 times previously. And I visit not just Auschwitz, but Srebrenica, which is a Holocaust museum for Muslim youth and men who were, 8,300 were killed in Srebrenica. I've been in Burma. I've been in Bangladesh meeting with Rohingya refugees who fled from Burma. And we want to know, where are the issues? What are the major problems facing Muslims today? So part of our work was to go to Auschwitz. We're also involved in interfaith. We want to assure our Jewish brothers and sisters that we care about what happened in Auschwitz. And we will work to make sure that nothing like that happens again. But it is happening again everywhere in the world.
Yeah. So Isa, you went along with
Yeah.
Samuel. What was that from a sort of an emotional perspective and experience, sort of what happened when you went there? Was there like, as a Muslim,
Yes.
witnessing this, how did that?
It was actually very sad to see many people die, and especially the way they died was very horrific. And so there was different pictures and different videos, and they showed it to us. And like cruelty, even if it wasn't a Muslim, but to any human, it shouldn't be like that to any human. And we also visited Hiroshima Peace Center, and also we saw this horrific event repeat again. And we're, like Sam said, we're seeing it right now in Palestine, we're seeing it in Burma, we're seeing it in different countries. So this is, you asked for our goals, which are overarching goals. The main two goals we have is, the main one is to spread peace and to raise the awareness of all people. And the second thing is also to reach to the Muslim youth and to make them stronger in faith and to make them love Islam even better. And number three that we have is to reach the non-Muslims that yet don't know much about Islam, and to give them the reality of Islam and what the true image of Islam is.
So from visiting these sites, what was the one, I guess, maybe Samuel, for you, that was the most memorable and impactful?
I think I've been to Hiroshima twice. Asa just mentioned Hiroshima. We were there just a few weeks ago, meeting with Japanese Shinto faith, and I'm just overwhelmed every time I go there. One small atomic bomb killed 170,000 people immediately over the past period of the next 3 months. People were continued to die from radiation poisoning or severe burns. It destroyed churches, it destroyed temples, it destroyed all kinds of the houses of worship. It was very sad every time I go there. Now we want to go there again, and we want to bring 150,000 Muslims from different parts of the world to come there. On this occasion, we bowed and prayed at Ground Zero, where the bomb was actually detonated. And we prayed that God would use Muslim Voice for Peace and Reconciliation as a catalyst to end nuclear weapons in the world today and all weapons of mass destruction.
I think that's really powerful. Thank you for sharing that. Now, I know one of the projects that you guys are working on right now is a world tour with MVPR, where your goal is to visit 5 continents and 16 nations. So tell me a little bit, I know you mentioned it earlier, but tell me a little bit about that.
Okay, so we started off with Europe, and we went to Austria, we went to Poland.
And this is right at the beginning of summer?
Yes,
okay,
right in the beginning of the summer. And so we went to Slovakia, we went to Poland, to Germany, and then to the UK, and then first England, then Wales, and then we went to Portugal. So we went to around 9 different countries in,
wow.
Yes, in Europe. And then we went to South Africa, first to Durban, and then to Cape Town. And then after that we went to Japan, to 5, 6 different cities in Japan. And then we're here today.
And when you guys are visiting these different sites and organizations, like what do you guys? So you go there and you say, "Hello, we're with MVPR." Like, what's the pitch there in terms of what you're telling people?
Yes. So with, as I told you before, with non-Muslims, if it's a non-Muslim organization, we talk to them briefly about Islam and what Islam is truly about. And if it is Muslims, then we try our best to talk to them to strengthen their iman and to know more about Islam deeply.
And I guess through that process, you're also recruiting for MVPR, right?
That's right. Yes, we're opening branches all over the world. We have paid staff right now in 2 countries, and we have in Cape Town and we have in Havana, Cuba, and we have volunteer directors around the world.
So we talked a little bit about the non-Muslim organizations. What about the Muslim community across the board? Have they generally been receptive? What's the response been like?
I think they're very receptive. I think they find that MVPR is a great relief. It's something that's needed within the faith. People working for world peace.
Yeah.
This is something that's relevant, it's something that's needed, and it's something that our young people can be very proud to be a part of. Because they know that they turn on the TV, they see, what's the TV news programs are saying about Islam. And maybe some of it's rightly so, because we have people calling themselves Muslim and going off and they let off one bomb, they kill one or two people, and it makes the evening news for months.
Yeah.
We need to change it. Isa in the Injil, Isa said, peace and blessings be upon him, he said, we need to overcome evil with good. So for every evil act, we need to have 10 good acts to reinforce it in people's minds that Islam means peace and that Muslims are people of peace.
Thank you so much to both of you for coming on and
Thank you very much.
sharing your story. I wish you the best of luck on the remainder of your journey and all the success.
Jazakallah
Thank
khair.
you, Aisha.
Hey YouTube, we hope you benefited from this video. If you liked it, or if you didn't, let us know in the comments below. And if you're interested in learning more, check out some of our other videos. And don't forget to subscribe so you can get new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.